Hi everyone and welcome back. This is Sky coming on to deliver you some really wonderful news. I have just heard from an astrologer colleague that there is a solar windstorm in progress and a coronal mass ejection is currently approaching the Earth as I'm filming this video. This time is around the time of 10 p.m. to midnight on Friday, July 22nd of 2022. During that time and probably during the subsequent days, so right leading up to this Uranus-Mars North Node conjunction in Taurus, there is indeed a coronal mass ejection coming from the sun, as well as a solar windstorm hitting the Earth and blowing a lot of solar energy toward the Earth. So I had to come on and talk to you briefly about this and alert you that this was happening. So it's over. The battle for a lot of people is over. The toxic, rampaging dark energy is going to really be decimated and fall to the ground here. So this is really good news for those of you struggling with any kind of psychic attack, for those of you struggling with any kind of like really weird, cluttered issues of minutia or untangleable events, knotted energy, dead ends, conflicts. That stuff's ending, okay? And yes, I just made a video about the 2022 mid-year update just tonight as well on YouTube, which I'll link below and go and check that out. But this coronal mass ejection that we're having here on July 22nd and probably up till mid-August as we approach a general more solar active time with Pluto being preparing to change into the sign of Aquarius in March of 2023. We are really coming into a much more solar active time. So let me tell you just a little bit about solar activity and a little bit about what it means for Earth when we have times of solar minimum and when we have times of solar maximum. So when we have solar minimum, we have a hypergrowth of mold, parasites, and energies, darker energies that represent these types of infestational entities. And that has been happening ever since the time of 2020, okay? During the Jupiter-Saturn-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn in the year of 2020, we had very drastic solar minimums, and this led to proliferations of these types of energies, which connected to a lot of things that we went through. But that is ending now, okay? That is over. We have a solar maximum coming through. We have a coronal mass ejection heading right to the Earth, probably hitting right around the time that I'm filming this. And I just wanted to give a really direct message to any of you who are struggling with any kind of darkness right now. Okay, primarily, the darkness is coming to an end. There's still going to be a time of things having to work themselves out. This could last as long as the next 8 months. But I feel that just right here, past the point of July 22nd, okay, there is going to be such a firm capacity for resolution. Also, I've been having so many people reach out to me through email, through message, and so on about the fear of being psychically attacked or feeling like they are cursed or feeling like people are wishing them poorly. And that is something that really grows and expands during a time of solar minimum. That is decimated now. This coronal mass ejection will really put down any type of negative energy forms that are dark or are targeting people unfairly, okay? So kind of let yourself know that after this time of July 22nd, okay, we are moving into a time of greater healing, and we're moving into a time of greater connectiveness. We're moving into a time of, being able to see the forest for the trees. We're moving into a time of not being bogged down by random, weird little, like, inconceivable or unsolvable or just never-ending knots or problems. Okay, so I have to then also really say to some of you who are fixated on small, unresolvable quandaries, for those of you who spend a lot of time also wishing others poorly or being tricky with people, being deceptive with people, being ambiguous, being also too taunting to other people or being, questioning the relevance of another person, questioning the merit of another person, thinking that you know someone, thinking that also you're a victim to another person. All of these types of things are really dissolving here, okay? And we have a beautiful time to basically just reflect back energy with this solar energy. So just, I've gotten a lot of requests recently to make a video about auric healing and to make a video about healing the third eye, healing the aura. Okay, well, let me tell you just a little bit about this, because a coronal mass ejection is a good time to actually clear out the negative matter, dark matter in an aura that might be contributing to auric difficulty. So that is basically just exactly what I'm talking about here. It's not being in victim mentality. It's not being in deceptive mentality. It's not being in refusal to compromise. It's not being in these headspaces, these mindsets, these outlooks on life that are antagonistic, that are dark triad, that are Machiavellian, that are parasitic, vampiric. These things are going to be very challenged coming on now. And if you feel that you're being psychically attacked or anything like that, just send it back. Say this is not a time to launch any kind of psychic attack. It never really is. This is not a time to get even. This is not a time to create conflict. But I do think it is a time to say, I wish everything that anybody has sent towards me to be sent back to them. Okay, a coronal mass ejection is also the way of the sun sending energy back to the earth. So karmic energy is being sent back during this time. I feel that curses are broken during this time, and I'm here to congratulate you all and prepare you all to step onto your own path, powerful, without being fixated on these unresolvable issues, without being afraid, without being connected to these parasitic, vampiric, or codependent people. No need for any of that stuff now. We have the big stuff that we're preparing for, and I touched on this in my 2022 mid-year update video, which I just did tonight before I was reached out to by an astrologer colleague informing me of this solar wind and these coronal mass ejections happening. And I've got to say, I'm a little bit excited about it as an astrologer, because the sun, ever since 2020, has been in a more minimal phase. It's not been as active, and this has been contributing to a lot of darkness. Okay, darkness is not a bad thing. Darkness is and not at all a bad thing. There's also such thing as too much light, and we may actually see with these coronal mass ejections that we could kind of swing to the other side. But I think that for now, it's really good to think about, okay, what can I let the sun kind of cleanse in my life? What can I, what's festering? What's stagnating? What's poisonous? What's detrimental? Okay, and this isn't about really changing those things, but it is definitely about not hanging on to those things for dear life and allowing resolutions to come through now. We are much more protected. You're protected. And I think that it's just so important that we understand that this is a very opportune time to boost up our fire element energy, to have a little bit more strength, perseverance, and to not be afraid of anything. Fear, I would also add fear to that list when I'm talking festering things, stagnating things, vampiric, parasitic energy bonds, fear-based bonds are going to really be decimated. So because of this decimation of fear-based bonds due to the coronal mass ejection and the current solar winds, that can also cause people who are hanging on to those for dear life to become very problematic. So I will also tell you all that that's likely during this time. And it's a wonderful time to pray. It's a wonderful time to even work with, Christ. It's a wonderful time to reinforce also your roots, your heritage, and the ground that you walk on with the South Node in Scorpio, giving everybody a transformative element to that which has been a status quo fixture in their life for a long time, even through generations. Okay. Anyway, everyone, this isn't meant to be a long video. I just wanted to come on very briefly and totally randomly, totally impromptu, just as I felt this coronal mass ejection coming on, and I just wanted to speak during that time, as it's probably happening right as I filmed this video, and it feels so warm, and it also feels like there's a lot to be given now, and there's a lot to also rise above. And anything that is in that territory for you, I think that we have a process starting up here. Again, keep careful. Check out my video about Uranus-Mars North Node conjunction coming up, and then also my 2022 mid-year update, which I just did. And also check out my Patreon page below if you would like to get even more premium content. Thank you all so much, and I just wanted to shout out this exciting solar activity happening right now. Enjoy it, and thank you all so much. Bye.